Good morning, everyone. Sunday morning here. It's October the 4th. Yeah, it's October the 4th. It's a Sunday. I've literally got, 20 minutes or so before I've got to go out for the day. But there's a message that wants to come through and I'm going to deliver it, and then I'm going to put it up onto YouTube. I will disable the comments on this one. Just because it's Sunday, guys, and I want a day off, okay, rather than having to moderate comments. And I also know that maybe what I'm going to say on here might trigger some people. End of the day, I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to just bring the messages through from Spirit that I'm asked to bring through, and this is one today. So this is really a message for Donald Trump, but to be honest, Donald Trump is just being used here as an example of a pattern of behaviour that many of us do, myself included, when we are unwell. I am assuming that you've watched the video that I put out a couple of days ago, linked into Donald Trump being unwell, which followed on from another video, from another two videos. I think this is the fourth video in a series that I've done that are all linked, and I will come back on as much as I want to or need to over the next week or so, however long this all plays out with him, to try to bring in the teachings as I see it when I'm being told that they're here for us to look at. Okay, so first thing to say, sending good wishes and healing energy out to Donald, to Melania, to Hope Hicks, to anybody else that is affected by this virus at the moment. Goes without saying, okay? I've lit my candle. Let's get to the message. So what Archangel Metatron, my guide, is very insistent that I say today is following on from the little broadcast that Donald Trump gave yesterday from the hospital in USA where he's receiving treatment. And what I saw was what I predicted effectively, or these cards predicted in my last video, which is, here is a man who has been diagnosed with this virus and who has gone to war with it. This is the card of the Emperor in the Japanese tarot deck. Okay, so here he is as the Emperor, but it depicts war. So he's gone to war with this virus within his body. He's trying to fight it right, okay? He's also coming at it like the matador in the ring. Almost an energy of bring it on. You know, I'm big enough to defeat this. It's very much a battle between him and the virus. The whole way that he was talking yesterday in that broadcast was like that, which is that, you know, I'm going to win it. I'm going to be fine. He was almost talking about it as though it was in the past tense, that it was a battle that he'd already won. And I've got big alarm bells going off with regards to that whole strategy. Now, remember, I'm saying this for Donald, but equally, I'm also saying it to you if you're battling anything linked into any health condition, whether it's COVID or whether it's anything else, which is that when you go into trying to fight a virus, very much along the lines of like a warlike strategy, there is an absence there of the softer energies that are needed to bring about healing to the body, mind and soul. I use the expression a lot on this channel, you can't fight it right, you can only love it right. Love is a healing energy that's very needed, and a lot of people are sending him love, which will be helping, definitely. But remember, in my last video, I talked about the fact that this is coming in as a teacher energy. It's coming in to teach him something, and it's coming in to teach us something. What I saw last night was a man who was the teacher was in the room effectively, i.e. the virus was in the room, the virus was within his body. So the teacher's there within the body, but yet not wanting to listen to the teacher. And I'm not being harsh when I'm saying that. Please hear me out. What I felt energetically was somebody that, sorry, a message just came up on my phone that distracted me, was a man who effectively was wanting to prove it wrong, wanting to prove the virus wrong, wanting to prove that, for example, the cocktail of drugs that he's on work. In one way, you could say maybe that's a noble thing because he's trying to do that maybe for the collective. But really, it's about him wanting to show that. And that's not what the virus is trying to teach him. The virus in our midst, not just for Donald Trump, but for all of us. If you followed my work over the last year, you'll know that I've said this repeatedly, is it's trying to teach us many things, one of which is to slow down, one of which is to change the way that we look on the world. Remember, he had the Hanged Man card in my last reading, which was that this was, in fact, the Hanged Man has come up in 2 different readings that I've done recently for him. That was also his block. When I did the USA election video, that was his block, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is the energy of spirit via, for example, this virus, trying to show him life in a different way, trying to show him a version of himself in a different way. It's a suspension of consciousness. It's a different consciousness that wants to come in. But yet his whole life has been about trying to fight it right. I haven't read the book that came out linked into him recently by one of his family members. I'm not really interested in it either, but I did just hear somebody mention that in the book, it's very clear that he suffered a childhood that was quite a difficult childhood. And what I know as a healer and a teacher is, and I know myself, is that when you have childhood wounds, we all have childhood wounds. There's no child out there that doesn't have some form of wounding because no parent is perfect. Every parent brings usually some unhealed baggage into a family that they then create. It's called being a human being. None of us are perfect. But he had a very difficult, challenging childhood. And so he's gone through his whole life trying to fight it. He's come out fighting. He always tries to come out on top. It's got him to where he is today, which is the President of the United States. It's got him to where he got to previously in terms of his business empire. But yet, this virus that's come in here, I truly believe, and what I'm being told, is here to teach him something. It's here to teach him something about himself in exactly the way it would if it came to you. Maybe not this particular virus, but illness is the teacher. Illness is the teacher. This is what I keep hearing Metatron say. And so therefore, although on one hand I can understand it, going onto national TV, because you're wanting to portray that everything's okay, I'm going to be out of here in a couple of days, I'm okay. You know, I'm going to prove to you that, you know, these drugs work. It's not really about that. And this is the bit which is, I'm just going to put a trigger warning on now. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning, but I'm going to say it. Somebody created, they're not even a deck of cards, they're some postcards. A year ago, one of you did this, and they are my sayings, they're my words that somebody put to beautiful photographs. And they've sat on my shelf doing nothing, to be honest, for a while. And I keep thinking I must contact that lady and see whether we should do something with it. I picked them up today. I thought, I think there's a message in here. Cut it, and this was the one that came out. I'm just going to read it to you, okay? Because remember, what's going on here is when spirit comes in and wants to try and teach you something, and remember, he's being used here as an example for all of us, because many of us are not good at accepting the lessons that illness wishes to give to us. I'm terrible. I'm being honest. I'm not good at it either. If I get ill, anybody that knows me, will say to me, for God's sake, Amanda, sit down and stop. Stop working, stop doing, just be. Okay? You need to rest. You need to put the work down. And that's why I can see it in him. I can see that he can't do it at the moment. I'll come back to this in a moment. When you see, there's so many parallels with Boris Johnson. As a UK citizen, we went through this with Boris in the springtime. Now, Boris carried on as normal for 9-10 days before he went into hospital, and then he was rushed into hospital and was quite lucky not to be put onto a ventilator, okay? He's come out, as I said in my previous video, he is a changed man, not necessarily politically, but he's a changed man inside, and he will walk away from politics at some point soon. I know that. But he kept on. Again, they're very similar, you see. Boris and Trump are very similar types of men. They are showing us a particular pattern that we have in our world, which is you keep on going, you keep on going, you keep fighting it. You don't need to rest. Where are my papers? I have it as well. I have it within me as well. And that's what I'm trying to say. Rather than being triggered because I'm saying it about Donald Trump, look at yourself and how you do illness and whether you allow yourself the space and the time that you need when your body is telling you stop. So, yeah, Boris carried on and then was carted off to hospital. What seems to have happened with Trump is that he's gone to hospital, but he's still carrying on working, or certainly showing, presenting that he's still working. I can't believe he's poring over the papers like it was appearing he was in the video. That would be really unwise. But Boris went into hospital to stop him working. That's the point I'm making, okay? And I think probably was dragged there kicking and screaming as well, by all accounts. Trump has gone in, he said, by his own, his own violation, his own, not request, but, he chose to do that. But yet he's still working. There has to be a point where you allow the body to stop and rest and receive the new consciousness that wants to come in. Remember, Trump keeps getting the hanged man. So there is this shift that wants to happen within him, but he's blocking it at the moment. And that's why I'm coming on today on a Sunday morning when I don't really want to be doing this video, to be perfectly honest, because I know the flack I get from them. But Metatron's saying it's time sensitive. He needs to stop now. He needs to stop now. And why he is not stopping is there is the battle between ego and spirit going on, which we all have within us as well. Trump is no different. He has ego, he has spirit. His spirit are trying to shout at him right now, stop, you're meant to stop. Yeah, and for him, it's much bigger than it would be for us, because when we stop, there might be a deadline that we miss. There might be, in my case, some readings that I can't do or a couple of videos that I don't do. For him, he's being told to stop by spirit, but there's a general election happening in a month's time. I can completely understand at a human level. It's like, well, how the hell can I stop? But the message I'm hearing is stop. Stop. This is the card. These are my own words that I'm reading again today. This is the message. It says, ego, this apparently is what I said, ego stops us from living a light-filled life. The ego wants praise, admiration, applause, recognition. And when they become the driving force of life, you lose your connection to spirit and yourself. We were born to be happy. So there's this thing here, again, when we refuse to stop and allow the body to heal, it's because in some way, we don't realise it. We're wanting the praise, the admiration, the applause and the recognition that, oh, what a trooper. Look at them, what a trooper, okay? I'm talking about you and me now, but, there's an aspect here with Trump as well. And yes, of course, it's heightened because he's the president of the USA and he needs to be admired at the moment because he wants to get back in for another 4 years. But I'm afraid, guys, spirit works in different ways. And we are spirits in a physical body living a material life. But yet often spirit will come in and say, well, yeah, we can see this material life that's going on around you now, but actually I'm literally showing it's being put to one side for him. Actually, right now, that is less important. What's actually important, Donald, me, you, whatever, is you. It's your healing. There is this new energy wanting to come into you, the Hanged Man energy. Stop and receive it. And I just worry if he doesn't do that. I really worry. If he carries on with the energy that I'm going to war with this, I'm fighting it, the red flag, bring it on, you know, like I'm going to show you. This is a teacher energy that's coming in. So that is effectively the message. I will pull a couple of cards this morning as we are sitting here. I did actually pull some cards last night, having said that. High Priestess on the bottom of the deck, you see. That's something you can't see. Something that we're not meant to see. Something that we can't see yet. I'm just going to have a look. I did put the cards back, but whether I put them back in any order. Let me just see if I can remember. Yeah, okay, I'll show you these few. These two came, and this is the vice versa tarot. These were the first two that I pulled last night. Now, this is a moving feast, guys, okay, and it's changing day by day. But this is the virus that came in like a bolt from the blue. It came in literally almost like in the night, is what I'm hearing. He was very surprised, very shocked, is very surprised, is very shocked that he's got it, okay? And here he is, that's him. He's looking out. And the way I interpreted this last night, and I'll just say because I'm remembering what I was thinking, is that he's looking back on this midnight sky and he's reviewing and he's reflecting, but he would be able to do more of it if he just stopped, okay? Past actions, particularly linked into this virus, how he has handled it so far, some of the strategies. But the thing about this is you can't turn the clock back. It is what it is. I think that is an expression that actually he used himself about the virus. It is what it is. But here it is. It's like I didn't realise that this was coming towards me, okay, that I was going to have to be the one to also experience this. And to be fair to the guy, certainly last night, in the bit of the broadcast I saw, I think I saw most of it, he was trying to say that I'm sort of, we're all in this together. He was talking about the USA. He was also talking about the wider world as well. So he was trying to bring in a sort of community type energy. But definitely, this is the virus that came in like a bolt of lightning out of the blue. And here he is reflecting upon it. Six of Cups, you see, is the past. That's why I'm saying he's reflecting upon it. Six of Cups always links into the past. So he's looking back to his past actions. He was coming through last night as the King of Swords. And then we did have some difficult cards for him, and I'm not really sure if I'm even wanting to particularly go into them, but we got the 10 of Swords and the 8 of Cups. So he has to be careful. He has to be careful. This is why I'm doing this on a Sunday. He is not out of the woods yet. What happened with Boris Johnson is literally like history's repeating itself. And I hope we have the same outcome, which is that our prayers and light, which we send to Donald, has the same effect, which is that he comes out of hospital and he's well. But the thing is, this is going to, whatever happens with this is going to impact Donald Trump's energy going forward. That I can tell you. I'm definitely being told. And definitely there is a period of recuperation coming up. And how the hell you recuperate when you're the President of the United States going into a general election is anybody's guess, to be perfectly honest. But I'm going to leave that for another day, okay? Because I suspect that I'll be coming back to this next week and looking at different scenarios that may very well play out. I have got my own opinion, of course, in terms of what I think is going to be happening. And I think at the moment there's a high chance that he could potentially even step down before the general election. I will just say that. But, you know, there are other timelines at play here that might also come in as well. Whichever way I look at it, the chances of him just bouncing back totally unscathed are the least probable outcome at the moment. That's why the prayers are still needed. And that's why he needs to stop now. He needs to stop now. Oh, God, as I said that, we've got the judgment cards just come out. The judgment card. And the Three of Swords. You know, this is... And the Ten of... No, sorry, the Three of... No, that's good. The Three of Tides is the Three of Cups. That's good. But then we've also got the Ten of Swords, which is the Ten of Swords repeated twice in this reading. The Ten of Swords is an ending. Now, you know, let's hope that that is just an end to the old consciousness. This card came up when I did a reading on Prince Harry months ago. And do you remember I talked about the fact that it was almost like this was the old Harry. This was the old Harry that was effectively gone. And this is the new Harry that had been, was like the snake that had shed its skin and now was this new person, literally a new person. Whether you like the new person, whether you don't like the new person, is immaterial, okay? It's to do with transformation. It's to do with evolution. Harry has left his old life behind. He's left his old life behind and it's irrevocably gone. Yeah, maybe that's something for another day. I'll do maybe a video on Harry soon and Meghan. But it's the same card that's come up for Trump, okay? It's an end. I don't want to show that card too much because in light of what's going on with Trump at the moment, it's not particularly pleasant. But, you know, this is judgment. This is the moment. This is the moment, guys, that we had in March and April with Boris Johnson where I said, get onto it. Get your prayers out, okay? Whether you like the guy, whether you don't like the guy, get your prayers onto it and pray for the highest outcome so that actually he can come back and he has the change of consciousness. Spirit is able to come in. He's able to listen to Spirit because he's put down the books, stop the work, allow Spirit to come through. But judgment is, you know, if you don't do that, then things get more difficult, basically. I will end on a bright note, which is, again, we've got the Empress card on the bottom of the deck. The Empress is linked into new life, but it's also the divine feminine energy, which, as you know, comes through in every single reading that I do. Every single reading. Right, 22 minutes, guys. I would just like to end by saying thank you very much for all the lovely comments that have come in on the back of the other videos that I've made. Sorry to disable the ones today. As I say, I want to have a family day and I don't want to have to be looking at my phone every 5 minutes, okay? Know that my heart is in the right place by making these videos. I also thank you all so much for all the, so many people who've basically said, yeah, I'm putting my politics aside and I'm just going to send some good wishes. And you do not know the effect that that has. It ripples out to the wider world. I also want to acknowledge the people who say, actually, I'm finding it really difficult to put politics aside and do that. But I'm not going to say anything negative. I also appreciate you because what we're trying to do on this channel is literally what Metatron's showing me is it's like a parting of the Red Sea. We're trying to create a new pathway through the collective consciousness where we are just about positivity and we're about light on this channel. And that doesn't mean that we're not aware of the darkness and what's out there. It means that we're not adding to it in terms of our own hate and our own prejudice and our own judgment. And it has to be said, our own ego, okay? Because again, I'm just going to read this now. This is for us. This is for me. This is for you. We all have ego. So just allow your ego to hear this now. And my ego is also going to hear it. Quite interesting. I'm turning off the comments as well because I don't need the praise either today. That's ego as well. I don't need you to tell me, oh, I loved your video. It's that I don't want that today. It's just let the message speak for itself. So this is the thing. Ego stops us from living a light-filled life. The ego wants praise, admiration, applause, and recognition. And when they become the driving force of life, you lose your connection to spirit and yourself. So And I see that card. I'll read that as well. It's Sunday. It's a sacred day. It's a holy day. I grew up and Sundays were sacrosanct, okay? Nothing was open. No shops were open. We went to church every Sunday. I don't do that anymore, but maybe that's what we're being asked to do as well here, to just spend a holy day in as much light as we can muster, because then the next one that comes up, again, these are my words. It says, be the gateway. It's less about going through it. It's about being it. You are the gateway. I am the gateway and you are the gateway. Okay? So let's be that today. Shout out to Lisa. I think it's Lisa that made these cards for me. Lisa, I haven't got your name to hand, but I think it's you. I suspect you still watch me. They're beautiful. Maybe we'll pick that up soon. Although I'm going to also listen to the advice in this video, which is that we're all being asked to slow down a little bit. So it's really important, guys, that if the leader of the United States is being given that message, he's showing us something here. So by him wanting to keep on going, that's not what I'm seeing is the best answer here. And the same for us. It's a day and it's a moment for us to take a deep breath and connect to ourselves. Take a deep breath and connect to Mother Earth. Take a deep breath and connect to your God light. And know that all is well. Much love. See you next week. I'm sure I'll be doing videos next week. Bye-bye. Take care of yourselves. Slow down. Bye.